This is a story about bicycles and the part that my little hometown of Sale played in its history. But it's not just about bicycles, it's about a very specific part of a bicycle. This is one of the few places where you can see what's left of the cobbled streets of Sale. Our story starts here. Well, not exactly here, but on a road like this. There's a reason these early bikes were called bone shakers. With their wrought iron frame and wooden wheels with iron tires, it didn't make for a very comfortable ride on a road like this. Enter this man, John Dunlop, and his distinguished-looking beard. His son was having a hard time getting his wooden-wheeled tricycle around those cobbled streets, so in 1887 he invented the first practical pneumatic tire. I'm here in Walkden Gardens with
Rob Fryer.
Rob Fryer, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And we're standing outside the Dovecote, which used to be part of Sale Old Hall. Sale Old Hall was demolished in the 1920s and nothing remains of it other than bits of stone you might have seen in Sale Water Park. When you're walking over the water, there's the big pieces of stone which were part of the gateposts, and the Dovecote, which is behind me here. It stood by the M63 until the M63 was widened to become the M60, and we had a few people that were quite interested in taking the Dovecote. We had Priory Woods were quite interested, and Dunham Park were interested as well, and also the road that comes from Chester Road, they were interested in having it as well. But we brought two councillors in here and said, behind me is the Sale Hotel now the Moorfield, which had a beautiful tower, and I said, wouldn't it be great if we had another tower in Walkden Gardens that matched the one behind us? And we left that idea with these two councillors, Barry Brotherton and Jane Bohr, and lo and behold, the Dovecote arrived.
You must be thinking to yourself, what's all this got to do with bicycles? Well, this is why we came here, to see this drawing. Rob just mentioned the Sale Hotel, and this is it. Well, a drawing of it. The Sale Hotel and Botanical Gardens, a Victorian pleasure park. The hotel was built in 1878 as a centerpiece for the Botanical Gardens, a major attraction that included a ballroom, gardens, lawn tennis and croquet ground, bowling green and gym. But what's of interest to us today is this lake with a cycle track. At the Sale Botanical Gardens, there was a gravel track measuring 5 laps to the mile, unbanked of course. This track lay round a pond in which was a small tree-covered island. In 1890, around this very track, the pneumatic or bolster tire was first officially recognized. It had become obvious that the pneumatic tire had an advantage. So as a handicap, it was decided that the pneumatic tire bikes would start 40 yards behind the starting line if the day was wet, or 35 if it was fine. The state of the weather on the day is not recorded, but evidently the handicapper had underestimated the possibilities of the new tire, as one of the two competitors on airbags, H.A. Clark of Stonygate, won both handicaps from virtual scratch. So of course the lake and the racetrack, it's all gone now, and this is as close as we'll ever get to be on it. So this is how much of a head start you get. that's how good the pneumatic tire is. Etymologically speaking, the origin of the word tire comes from attire, like clothing, because that's what it is. It's the clothing for a wheel. I like all these little differences between American English and British English, you know, like bonnet for hood and boot for trunk and petrol for gas. These are all car ones. Hoover for vacuum cleaner. We don't call them Hoovers. Ironically, that's an American company. I think it was Oscar Wilde or George Bernard Shaw. Well, either way, it was an Irishman. And said, "Two nations divided by a common language